Sorry, say that again. Yeah, Helea from band Seirén from Mexico. Seire with an accent N. And our social media name is Seirén Music Oficial in Spanish with one F. And you can find us as Seirén with an accent on Facebook and also on Spotify and all platforms.
Retiro la coja.
Sí, gracias.
Sí. I know you through Paul, so we're visiting your beautiful country in Mexico, and but you spent quite a long time in the UK as well. So is it correct? You were in Salford. You've been in London as well.
Yeah.
So could you give us a wee bit of your background?
So I arrived in it's a very long story, but to make it short, I was in London. I was studying music in London. I was studying composition in London. It's very crazy because I was a session bass player, even though I'm a singer and guitar player and composer. So I studied composition there and bass. So I was playing with several bands in London, bass guitar, weirdly enough, and sometimes playing my songs. Then I didn't really like London. It was a long story. Came back to Manchester, finished my degree of music there, where I played with many bands as well there, guitar. Sometimes I play my music too, but because I was kind of a session musician, I forgot my own project and played with a lot of people there. So I was like basically playing there and,
Oh, gracias.
partying there and, composing, suffering, being a bohemian.
So yeah, the first time I heard your music was, so Paul was visiting Glasgow. I think he was going to a Roger Waters gig, if I remember rightly. And we ended up sitting with him for a few drinks and stuff. And he played the music and we loved it straight away. Joe loved it straight away. It's really cool. And I can't quite put my finger on how to explain it. It's a bit of a horrible question. How do you describe your music? I know it can be difficult, but
Yeah.
Have you got a wee tagline for it, or what would you say?
It is hard because a lot of people call us like prog, but I don't think we're prog really.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain because, we have influences from like volcanic music, Latin American folk, prog. Yeah, we're super massive fans of Radiohead, but this voice is a little bit operatic at times and it's heavy sometimes, but it's not. Sometimes it's jazzy, so I'm not too sure. I wouldn't say it's prog per se, but
I think
sure.
I can't find the right word for it, but I can see why people would say prog.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like it's a bit more friendly,
Yeah.
less jaggy. Does that make sense?
It's more friendly than prog. It is
Yeah,
true.
it's less jaggy.
It's like more or less psychedelic, but more complicated. I don't know. It's like melancholic, complicated, psychedelic fusion.
We'll cut to some of the music. We'll cut to some of the music. That probably right now. We'll cut to some music. Or
Yeah.
have you always been a musician, or?
I have been playing since I was 14, and I
Okay.
always, since I was younger, wanted to be a musician. It's always.
So what was the first band that made you go wow?
You mean rock band? Because I like a lot of music, but rock band, I think the Beatles.
Yes.
The Beatles were like the first. My parents used to hear them, Led Zeppelin, but mainly the Beatles. Other influences apart from Radiohead, Portishead. I was like, they're like my.
Did you get a Portishead t-shirt?
I have a Portishead
Yes.
T-shirt. I saw Beth Gibbons in a festival in Spain years ago. I was like in awe watching her and Rustinman. Another influence, Jeff Buckley.
Oh wow.
And I used to study classical guitar when I was younger, so I really love classical music. as well.
You've had a little break for the Christmas New Year because obviously band members were doing Christmas things. You just your first rehearsal, was it yesterday, the day before?
Yeah.
So how did that go?
I was awesome. Even though we kind of played like in 2 months together, it was like, I don't know, like an ecstatic rehearsal. It was like being floating and connected into something big. So that's what art does. It just connects you to other humans in a very transcendental way, I think.
What is the difference between? So obviously you've had a front row seat to three very different scenes: Salford, London, and Mexico. Is there anything else that I've missed?
I used to live in Australia, so I played there.
Australia,
and,
wow.
and in Spain.
And in Spain.
Yeah.
Well, they're all very different. What is the notable differences? What was the most welcoming scene? Would you say out of all those?
I think it's a hard question because essentially anywhere you play, where people appreciate music, they're all gonna like it and they're gonna treat you well and they're gonna share the experience with you of playing and being the audience and participating in whatever you want to transmit to them. It's just audiences are very different in different countries because also they're culturally different. I would say welcoming. I don't know if welcoming. The thing is like, because when I play in Mexico, I essentially mainly sing in Spanish. People understand, maybe, if they can hear it, what I'm saying. So people behave differently and they can hear the lyrics. I sing like in Spanish and English. It's just, I would say it's different, but I wouldn't say it's better necessarily in other plays.
Do you sing Spanish and English in the same song, or do you just do Spanish songs and English songs? Is there a rule? Is there any hard and fast rules to that?
I sing Spanish and English in the same song. Talking about Glasgow, that reminded me, Scotland and Ireland remind me more, a little bit, to Mexico than England.
Yes.
The people's ways, even though I'm not saying England is.
Or even London,
but,
London
the
to
behavior.
London to the north of England's very different as well, I found.
Yeah, it is true, but the thing is, I think because I'm not sure how to describe it from my perspective of not being from England, I think both places have a lot of influences from abroad. So I always met a lot of people from every single part of the world. And yeah, people are different, of course, in the north than in the south. But because I was in London, also being a musician, playing with musicians from everywhere in the world, and same in Manchester, I didn't notice so much of a difference.
Yeah, you're in a cultural melting pot.
Yeah.
Yes,
an
exactly.
art situation.
Yes, exactly.
And that.
We're in the art bubble of, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have to say something. I found it harder to get, for example, gigs in Manchester than getting gigs in London because I think the music scene in Manchester is very fucking close. And you're not cool and everybody knows you, whatever. You cannot really get to them as easy if you're from abroad unless you're known or you have a pre-booked gig there. Then in London, they're more open, in my opinion. If you're an outsider or foreigner presenting music that is not, I don't know, punk or metal or whatever, fusion, world music, something that is not really the average kind of pop situation. They're more open to it, I guess, because it's bigger and they have more people.
Yeah,
That's my impression, but
that's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I think London's obviously got the advantage of having such a big audience because it's such a big place. So many venues, there's always going to be things available.
Yeah, so many people from fucking everywhere.
And Glasgow is open to everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would imagine if you didn't know anyone and you're just trying to bring a Spanish-speaking band to them, you would get a lot of doors shut in your face.
Exactly, I feel like
until
that.
someone sticks up for you and goes, no, this is good.
Yeah.
So like we've got, I would recommend Knockin' Gorick. It's a Knockin' Gorick World Ceilidh, it's called.
Yeah.
You know, everything from Indian music to American music to just all comes together, Gaelic music. And people don't care about language at all. It's like, because the music is speaking a language. You can tell when someone's angry in a song.
It doesn't matter in the end.
Someone's heart's broken. You can tell when someone's...
Exactly. It's true, it doesn't matter in the end, but you're right. It's like if you don't know someone, that's my impression as a musician that's not from the UK in Manchester. That was harder to get into them than in London. we're gonna say Manchester. I don't know if it's true because
Well, I don't know. I don't know much. We've played Manchester a few times.
I would love to play in Glasgow though. I love
Yeah.
Scotland.
Well, mate, we can make
The music scene's
a Glasgow gig. We can make that happen. That's not unrealistic, can it?
I love.
But we just need to convince somebody to come to the back to the UK for it though. That's the problem. Paul, what you got to say about it?
About what, coming back to the UK?
Yeah, play Glasgow and a
The
couple
only way
of
I'm going back there to live is in a fucking box, mate. Well, not to live.
Well, to play a couple of gigs.
For that, absolutely. Mate, I'll go on holiday in the UK all day long, as as it's in summer.
And to play festival.
Yeah.
Like we're recording 4 singles, and we're just finishing recording Boy, so we're gonna release that. So new music coming up. We might have some gigs in March, April. We're concentrating right now in recording, mixing, releasing videos, etc.
And we like a name drop on You Call That Radio. And is it true that the guy from New Order mixed or mastered or something?
It is true. It is true.
Could you explain this to me? Explain this to me. This is a name drop.
Well, the thing is, what's that? Like, did I say the name of the guy or?
Well, I can't remember his name.
I remember.
So basically, it's,
I remember his name.
it's the guy who does the live sound for New Order on tour. He's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Every time New Order go on tour, he's their live sound engineer. He mixed our last 2 recordings that were done during the pandemic. We started recording it just as the pandemic happened, so we had to record remotely, which was challenging.
And in Salford University.
Yeah, and we broke the law a few times by meeting up, didn't we? And,
Yeah.
doing some illegal recording sessions. But we got there in the end.
Oh yeah, illegal. Yeah. I know his name. Like, is it record? Do I say
Say his name? Yeah, give me a
It's
shot.
Danny Davis.
Davis.
The name drop.
You call that radio.
We actually went to your apartment and we listened to the music through your speaker. And I don't know how good. It was a Bose speaker, but it just sounded
It's
amazing.
good speaking, to be fair.
That's a good
It
speaker.
makes anything sound amazing.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching this back, probably in Scotland or round about, what advice would you give to anyone who would like to go and visit Mexico?
My advice is book your ticket as soon as possible. Don't do it during hurricane season, but like June, July, better not in spring.
So what do you do for hurricane season? You just hope for the best.
So hurricane season is very rainy and stuff, so you better come in spring. Yeah.
Yeah, come in spring.
That's my advice. There's a lot of music, a lot of stuff.
And what is spring? What is spring?
What
What is spring over here
Now.
now?
That was the best time.
It's not. What do you mean?
Well, spring, like the warm
spring
season
now.
is February till May. It's now.
I mean, it's always warm. No,
But
don't
the
get
really
it wrong.
warm season, the super
I mean,
warm season.
unless you're in the north, no, because it could snow or whatever. But if you're in the center south,
Yeah.
just if you want to avoid like heavy rain, don't come in July. Just come,
Yeah.
Unless you want to do mushrooms.
And also, do mushrooms.
Yeah, you can't come in the rainy season.
Rainy season for mushrooms.
so-
San Jose.
San Jose del Pacifico in Oaxaca in the south.
Yeah.
You can do that too.
And
yeah,
mushrooms and
anything. Anything. And sacred medicine.
Sacred-
Waiting for you.
And the sacred medicine. So the sacred medicine. How would people do the sacred medicine safely?
Well, that's a very tricky question because it's always who you know that it's a professional.
So it's like getting a gig in Manchester.
in
That's how
Manchester.
you know.
Well, yeah. Sure. I was thinking like Manchester, sacred medicines. I don't know. I have no advice on that.
No one's taking ayahuasca in Manchester. Come on.
Sacred medicine in Manchester is a pint of Johnson Holtz.
I'm sure someone has it. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere now.
Well, one of my mates took ayahuasca in Springburn and they said it was absolutely terrible. And they were saying,
Really?
Springburn's it's a council estate in
Set in the city, mate.
in
Council
Glasgow.
estate.
Yeah.
Oh.
Set in the
There
city.
was no
That's not a
ceremony.
great setting. You have to be.
It's not a party drug. It's not a party drug.
It's not a party. It's not a party.
Drug.
It's not even a drug.
It's not a drug,
It's a
people.
medicine.
I mean, I think she realised that quite quickly.
Yeah.
And what? And this guy had decided that it was a self-proclaimed shaman.
Oh, one of
But
those.
it's like,
That's
it was
like a
But he
red
went-
flag. If they say I'm a shaman, it's like
yeah, it's a shaman.
get away from that. People
Like labeling
those real
themselves as-
shamans, they
Don't say that.
Say that.
Aye, exactly.
They don't say that
Also, it was a shaman that wanted paid. Funny enough.
Understand